Everyone. So today in Adobe Illustrator, we are going to make a Christmas ornament to be able to cut on the laser cutter over in the Innovation Center, the engineering building. So let's start off with our file size. Create new. And the way we're going to get this set up is start off with art and illustration. And the reason I like to do this is because it puts us into RGB mode versus CMYK. For the laser to be able to read your file, the colors must be in RGB or else it will not cut properly. So we're going to set the size. Let's go to inches, and I'm going to set our file size, our paper size, as document as 5 inches by 5 inches. I'm going to double check. We're in RGB, and let's go ahead and give this a title of Ornament 1. Let's go ahead and create this file. First, I'm going to hold the space bar and let's move my page over a little bit. How about a Control minus to zoom out? This is going to be my workspace. So what we're going to create today is we're going to do a snowflake inside a circle ornament. So let's start with that circle on the outside. I'm going to go to my ellipse tool, draw a couple circles. On this first circle, size doesn't really matter because I'm immediately just going to go up to the top here and change it into a 4-inch by 4-inch circle by making sure that the proportion constraint is linked. So when I change the width, the height will also change at the same time, at the same rate. Well, that's the outside of our ornament. On the inside of the ornament, I'm going to do that by creating another circle by making a copy of this. I'm on my black arrow V, hold the Alt key, and let's drag. We're going to make a copy of that. But I'm going to change this to 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. And that's going to allow us to have a 1/4-inch border around the outside of this ornament. So there's 3.5 by 3.5. Let's go and center these on the page by selecting them both, and let's let our align tools do the work. Up here at the align, please make sure that you are on align to artboard, and we're going to align them horizontally. Click one more time, and I'm going to align them vertically. All right. So right now we just have 2 circles. I'll fill them in to show you. What we need to do, though, is make this into a donut, which is what a compound path is. So both circles are selected. I'm going to right-click, make a compound path, and there we go. It makes it into a donut. So let's go and find our snowflake. I'm going to do that by going to Google, and I'm going to do a search for a snowflake. And on this snowflake, we're going to do an image search. I'm going to go to Tools, change the size to large for a better image trace, color, black and white, and search around for a snowflake. Now remember, I'm going to go with this one. And what I'm doing right now is I'm really only looking for the outline. I'm actually going to get rid of this little hexagon in the middle of it. Do not save this image. It is only a low resolution thumbnail. Make sure you click on it, get the full resolution image, right click, save image as. I'm going to call it just Snow 1. It's on my desktop, so it's going to be easy to find. Let's go ahead and save that. Window. On this image, I'm going to right click, open with Adobe Illustrator. And this is where I'm going to do my image trace. So is when you select any JPEG or PNG image, it gives you the option to image trace it. So I'm going to click on image trace, click OK, expand, right click, ungroup, deselect. I'm going to select it again. I'm going to right click, release compound path. Now I'm going to start kind of breaking this apart. This has a bunch of different elements. As you can see, there's different lines to this, and all I need is a single outline. Let me change this stroke color. Okay. Looks like my swatches are gone, so we're going to go back and find them under the bottom left corner. Go to Default, and let's go to Art and Illustration. That actually gives us RGB swatches. I'm going to dock this up here with my swatches. I'm going to change the stroke color to yellow, and let's zoom in on this. And you can see that we have just a single path, and that's perfect. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to zoom out, and black arrow V. I'm going to make my selection Control C to copy. Let's go back over to my file, and I'm going to go ahead and paste my snowflake here, Control V. This image is obviously too large, so let's reduce size by using our transform controls up here. Well, my ornament is 4 inches, so let's go ahead and try 3.5 inches for this. And again, let's let our align tools do the work. I'm going to click on this snowflake and center it the easy way with a line, with the horizontal, vertical, and it's right there in the middle. Now, I do want my snowflake to kind of attach to this border. So this, I need to increase the size of my snowflake. So I'm going to hold shift, as always, whenever we resize something. This keeps it proportionate. But another little trick is to also hold the Alt key, and it scales from the center. And I'm going to scale this just so it kind of attaches right there just a little bit. Maybe just a tad smaller. All right. Now let's see what this would look like once I have it all united or glued together. So I'm going to change this. It's going to be a kind of a wood color. Hit X and then slash to get rid of my stroke and deselect. So that's what my cut ornament is going to look like. Now just to save some trouble later if I make a mistake, I always like to make a copy of everything before I do anything drastic. So I'm holding the Alt key to make a copy of this, and I could come back to that later if I'd like to make a change. Let's zoom in, and I'm going to well, let me show you. Let me add a black stroke to this. So right now, the laser is going to cut wherever there's a path. So this would cut out right here, and these guys would fall apart. So this is where Pathfinder comes in. Let's make a selection. Come over here to Pathfinder, and the very first one, which is Unite. I'm going to click this, and it's going to make one nice ornament that's going to cut out. All these little white sections will drop out, and this will be my wood ornament. We need a place to hang the ribbon or the hook for our ornament. So I'm going to draw another circle. I'm going to add another circle here. Hold shift. I'm going to make this, actually, I'm going to make it 5/8 of an inch, which is 0.625. I'm going to make a copy of this one. And this is going to be the inside hole. I'm going to make this a 1/4 inch to be able to put my ribbon. 0.25. Enter. Let's zoom in on this a little bit. And I want to center these circles on each other. So let's select both. But I want the little one to move to the big circle. So I'm going to click on the big circle to anchor it. And then I'm going to align it and align it. And that's going to be where we hang our hook for our ornament. Now, this is just a circle, but I want to make a donut. So that's a compound path. Select both. Right click. Compound path. I'm going to drag this. We'll use our line guides. That pink line tells us right there in the middle. I'm going to move this up a little bit. I would like to have that whole circle there. Now again, as always, before I do something drastic, actually, I don't need that. Oops, sorry, I do. Let's make this selection. I'm going to make a copy of this if I ever need to come back and change something about it. But let's go ahead and unite these guys. So select both, Pathfinder, unite. And there we go. I got a nice little hang tag. Now what I'm going to do on this ornament is I'm going to put a little message in the middle. So let's go to our type tool. I'm going to single click for some text. I'm going to type Kendall Family 2019. Escape. Go to my fonts. Find something fancy. Let's do a nice little cursive font here. And since my ornament, I originally centered it to the middle of my page, I haven't recentered it because it'll move it. But I want the main circle to be in the center of the page. And I could just use my line tools, and it's going to go right to where it should be. Go to the outer corner, hold Shift and Alt, and it's going to grow proportionally from the center. And that's going to have our name in the middle. Now we're just going to etch that. We're not going to cut that out, and I'll show you the difference towards the end. Now on this outer ring, I want to type all the names of all of our cats, dogs, kids, parents, things like that. So I'm going to draw another circle here, holding Shift. Size really doesn't matter. And let's put this towards the middle of the page again. There's my circle. Let's use our align tools, horizontal, and that's going to be our vertical. But I want to get it to type on this outer part. So let me change this color to green so you can see it. I'm going to, again, hold Shift and Alt, resize the circle, and this is going to be the path I'm going to type on, right about there. Let's do that. Now let's go up to our Type on a Path tool, hold the T, type on a path, and I'm going to click on this path. And this is where I'm going to type all the names. So just to save time, I'm going to just put name, name, name. How about we do this? Let's go back. Sometimes you got to get this just right. I'll triple click on it. Let's go Control C, right arrow to unselect. I'm going to go, and let's go to the very end of our last one. I'm just going to go Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, just to get some names on there. All right, let's go to our black arrow and let's do some adjustments. On this part, it's these little blue vertical lines that you need to kind of play with. This is our start and our stop. I'm going to slide this around. I'm going to put my start, this blue line, I'm going to put this at 9 o'clock. And put my stop at 3 o'clock. And actually, that's almost lined up just right. But I'm going to come up here to my text align and center it. And there's a little bit more perfect. And let's double check this. Let's see how this looks. We might want to make this font a little bit bigger. So I just hit T for type. I'm going to triple click. That's going to select all of those. And let's just try doing the up arrow on our font size. We don't want to go too big, but that looks, we're now at a 14-point font. And that looks pretty good. We could probably go a little bit bigger, but you can adjust yours as needed. All right, so how do we tell the laser to cut certain things versus just etch or kind of engrave them? To be able to cut, it needs to be RGB red 0.1 stroke. So I'm going to get rid of this brown real quick by hitting the slash, hit X, and on my art and illustration swatches, this very first one is RGB red. And the way that we know it's RGB red is because you open up your color toolbar, which is just under window, color, and it must, this RGB scale right here, yours might be closed like this, so let's hit the 3 pancakes. Let's click on show options, and also it needs to be on RGB. And for it to cut, the R needs to be 255, which is slid all the way over, and the GB are at 0. And the next part is your stroke needs to be 0.1. Okay, so the laser knows that's going to cut. Everything else that's going to be etched into this just needs to be RGB black. So as you can see on your color toolbar, nothing shows up. That's because I don't have a stroke here. Let's just hit X on my keyboard, and you can see that these are all at 0. The RGB 000. This is going to etch into the wood, and let's double check this one is also 00. So that is going to etch, and this is going to cut. All right. There is one last thing that you want to do. If you, instead of etching, if you'd like to have a single etched line, actually, I'm going to go over that at a later time. But this should be it. We should be able to run this on the laser and cut ourselves out an ornament over on the laser. If you have any questions, please ask. Thank you.